Hello, friends. I hope you're doing well. Today, I'm going to tell you one of the most disturbing serial killer stories in American history, an investigation that shook the entire United States and exposed the darkness hiding in plain sight. This is the true story of the campus killer, a predator who hunted young women across multiple states for more than a decade, while managing to hide behind a mask of normality. So sit tight, because what you're about to hear is not just frightening, it's real. Our story begins in the fall of 1984 in Gainesville, Florida. Campuses were full of energy, excitement, and hope. But beneath that light, something else was moving. Something cold, something calculating. It started with disappearances. One girl missing here, another gone there. Police treated them like isolated events. Students were told to stay cautious. But no one realized these disappearances were the work of one man, a man named Randall Pierce. Pierce grew up in Georgia. On the outside, he was polite, calm, and almost shy. He worked in construction, did volunteer work, and even attended church. But behind his friendly smile was a mind consumed by obsession and violence. At age 17, he had already been caught stalking a girl from his school. At 20, he attempted to abduct a woman but was released due to lack of evidence. Every time he slipped through the cracks, he grew more confident. In 1985, the first confirmed victim disappeared. Her name was Melissa Turner, a 19-year-old student at the University of Florida. She was last seen walking back from the library. For days, posters went up, search teams went out, and local news covered the case, but no trace was found. What investigators didn't know was that Melissa had been targeted weeks earlier. Pierce had followed her, studied her routine, and waited for the perfect opportunity. Over the next few years, similar cases appeared across Florida and Georgia. Young women, ages 18 to 25, vanished while jogging, returning from work, or leaving campus events. The pattern was chilling, but police departments in different regions did not yet realize they were dealing with the same predator. Pierce traveled constantly, took temporary construction jobs, and blended into every community he entered. He was invisible. By the early 1990s, panic was growing. Parents called their daughters every night. Colleges added emergency phones and increased security patrols. But nothing stopped the campus killer. In 1992, he abducted 2 women in the same month, one from a parking lot in Tallahassee and another from a student apartment complex in Jacksonville. Both victims were found weeks later in remote wooded areas. Their cases finally triggered a multi-state investigation. Detectives noticed something disturbing. Every victim had been carefully chosen. Pierce didn't strike randomly. He hunted, he watched, he planned. He operated with military precision, parking his car outside camera angles, removing evidence, leaving almost nothing behind. For a long time, the FBI had only one clue: tire tracks. Then came the mistake that changed everything. In 1994, a young woman named Julia Simmons managed to escape. Pierce grabbed her near her apartment at night, but she fought back, scratched him, and ran for her life. She gave police a description: a white male, mid-30s, brown hair, lean build, a slight limp, and a scar above his eyebrow. When police matched her description with past arrest records for stalking and attempted abduction, one name resurfaced: Randall Pierce. Investigators learned that Pierce had moved dozens of times across Florida, Georgia, and Alabama during the years of disappearances. They also discovered he owned a vehicle with the same tire pattern found near several victim locations. Surveillance teams began watching him. They saw him following women at grocery stores, at gas stations, and even on campuses. He was hunting again, and investigators knew they had to act fast. In October 1995, police executed a search warrant on Pierce's storage unit. Inside, they found a chilling collection: clothing belonging to victims, maps with marked locations, ID cards, hair ties, jewelry, and written notes detailing the routines of young women he had watched. DNA evidence later confirmed that these items belonged to at least 6 missing women. Pierce was arrested and interrogated for more than 9 hours. At first, he denied everything, but when investigators placed the evidence bags on the table, his face changed. He leaned back, stared into the corner of the room, and said the words that chilled the FBI team to the bone. "I never chose them. They chose me." Over the next 2 months, he confessed to 12 murders across 3 states. But investigators believe the real number is much higher, possibly over 20. During the trial, the courtroom was packed with families who had waited years for answers. Pierce showed no emotion, no guilt, no remorse. He listened to the testimonies like a spectator watching someone else's story. When the jury returned, he was sentenced to life in prison without parole, ensuring he would never harm anyone again. Today, Pierce sits behind bars in a maximum security prison in Florida. His case is still studied by criminal psychologists as a terrifying example of how a seemingly ordinary man can hide monstrous tendencies. His crimes reshaped campus safety policies across the country and remain one of the darkest chapters in American true crime history. If you want more stories like this, true crime cases that shook the United States, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring you more real, chilling, and unforgettable stories. Stay safe and stay aware.